How do I buy Pokemon collections, baby? Let's go. All right, guys, let's dive in. Somebody recently asked me a question. How do I buy Pokemon collections? And then how do I get the cards to sell? And this is my garage. I think this is the first time I've ever made a video and decided to show it. So what is up, guys? My name's Jeff Caldwell. This is just my journey of selling Pokemon cards. And I started about how long did I start? Like 6 months ago. My brother Austin, we were meeting for the first time in real life, and basically he was into Pokemon, and I was into Pokemon growing up with my older brother and my younger brother, and we were always like trading and stuff. And I eventually, when growing up, my older brother thinks I lost the cards, and I think he lost the cards. And I was just tired of always saying, like, I had this really awesome collection. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start over. Like, I'm a grown-up, man. I'm going to start over, and I'm going to start my own Pokemon collection again. And so I did. I literally started, and I started with this binder. Let me show you. Look at this. All right, I started with this red binder, baby. Yeah, because I had a red binder, and it had a little Charmander or Pikachu on it on the front, whoever it was. And that's what I started with. So I was like, I'm going to start over, and I'm going to start again, man. And I started collecting again. Like, I started collecting my OG cards. I'm missing some here. But this is like the base set, all the original 151, for the cool kids like me growing up, you know what I mean? Like, shout out. Do you guys remember these ones? These are the ones I collected. And my collecting goal at least is to make it where everyone is the first edition Shadowless. And I'll work up to those ones. So if I don't have a first edition Shadowless, I'll get whatever one I can to replace it until I get that, like base set 2, So those things. And so I've been collecting. This is kind of where I'm at. Just so you guys can see, this is my little collection so far. It's not big, but it's mine. Kind of like a lot of things in life. Yeah, oh God. All right. So, but here's one of the things that my brother got me. He got me a Mewtwo signed by the voice of Mewtwo, guys. The voice of Mewtwo. Do you guys remember the very first movie? Like the guy, how Mewtwo has that thought, and he's always thinking about why am I made? Why am I here? Well, that's that. So sick. So I have that, and that's my Pokemon collection. Well, how did I didn't just go out and buy this whole thing, right? So how did I start buying my collection? How did I get started? Where am I at now? I am surrounded. You guys could kind of see in the background. This is my workstation. I'm surrounded by a scanner, a ton of freaking bulk cards. Oh God, thousands of cards behind over here. There's just a lot of cards over here. Okay, so I am surrounded by a lot of cards. Well, how did I get here? Oh God, I don't know how I got here. I'm just joking. All right, so here is how I got here. So at first, I have 2 collecting goals. One is I want to keep collecting my personal collection. I am almost finished with my base set, my all 151 original cards. I think I'm missing a couple. And then I collect the really cool arts, the really cool cards I like. I love Porygon, all right? I am a coder, and so one of the websites I built recently is called Card Price King. Shout out to all the sellers. We have 72 sellers last time I checked on Card Price King. I was going to check my phone, but I'm recording it. I'm recording with it, so there's no checking of the phone. Hi. But we had 72 sellers, 13,000 listings. So that means there's 13,000 Pokemon cards scanned on there, which is absolutely phenomenal. I'm so proud of you guys. So heck yeah. So Porygon's my favorite because it's a little coding like Porygon. It's says the only Pokemon you could make at a code. And so one day I should make a project where I try to make a Porygon out of a 3D object, and then I could interact with it. That'd be cool. That'd be fun. All right. So I have two collecting goals. My first collecting goal is my personal collection. I want to collect what I like. I don't care about value per se. The ones that are valuable, I usually sell, right? Because it's like, oh, that's valuable. Bet. Let me get some money. I'll sell that thing in a heartbeat, right? But there's ones that are like, there's ones that I literally just collect for the art. Okay, so like, here's an example. Okay, this is a card. This card's like maybe $5, right? But like, I literally set it up on my fridge, like in this little like nice little case thing, because look at the art. Look at that. It's Korean, so it's like a Korean Pokemon card. But like, look at that art on that. Like, what? Like, this is gorgeous. I would gladly hang that on my wall over anything else. You know, like you could see in the background, I hang up Pokemon cards as art. Like I love looking at them. I don't care if they're $2. I don't care if they're $1.50. I love them for them, right? So I just like the art. That's my collecting goal. So individually, I go out and I go to websites like eBay or Card Price King, and I buy individual cards that I personally like. However, that is not part of the business, okay? If you guys know, all of these boxes, right? So we have this box right here, we have that box over there. All of these boxes are essentially filled with Pokemon cards that are listed for sale. I personally, on Card Price King, have around 5,000 cards listed. All of you guys have those other cards. So like I have about 5,000 cards listed, and that's what's in those boxes. So for me, and that's mostly bulk, right? Like it's not like, right? So that's all of those cards. Now here's what's interesting is how did I get those cards? Okay. And now this is probably my favorite part of Pokemon. Okay. This is my absolutely favorite part. Okay. So I'm going to grab a box. Just grab a random box. All right. I'll grab a random box, and let's just say somebody was selling this box. Where I personally like to buy collections, and I like to get good deals, right? Because like, think about this is when you buy from eBay or when you buy from Card Price King, it's like you're going and you're picking out the card that you want. So therefore it's going to cost more because you just want that one card, right? Well, like, so you're going to pay for a little bit more for that card. However, there's people on Facebook Marketplace. Literally, if you pop open Facebook, where most of us probably met, or on YouTube or wherever, but just Facebook Marketplace, and you just pop open and you just search by nearest 20 miles. Okay, so here's your filters. Okay, write this down if you need to, but it's just go on Facebook, click on the Marketplace tab. Okay, and then search Pokemon. Okay, Pokemon, and then I like to also search cards because I like to buy other cards too now. You know, like somehow you buy a little bit, you end up with a lot. I don't know what happened. And so I have a lot of cards. And what's funny is my family thinks I have a lot of cards, but I envision millions of cards. I envision this, like this is a small space right now. This is just like my garage, right? Like here in my garage with cards. Right? Like, so this is just cards. But I envision a large building. I envision a warehouse. I envision millions of cards in these boxes. I envision, like, I built the software of Card Price King to handle all that. You know, like that's the level of manufacturing that we need to do. This is a scanner, but this is a machine, right? Like this is a machine to process bulk as fast as possible, right? Like this stack of cards, I could process this in probably 30 minutes, scanning the cards with this machine and putting it on this laptop and then putting it into Card Price King and then cross-posting it to eBay and then putting it in these bulk boxes, right? Like this is the whole business. Like 1, 2, 3, like that's the business. And that's how you process these cards. Well, here's the thing. Somebody will go on Facebook Marketplace and they'll sell these cards for like $30. Like a box just like this, right? Like it looks just like this. But as you go through these cards, people associate bulk with cheap cards. But that's ridiculous. A lot of times the people that just want to get rid of it is because they have a lot of cards. And here's the thing. What I love about Pokemon is there's two type of people. There's people like you and me that are learning and know about cards, and we have the ways to check card values, right? Like with Card Price King, we have an app. You could scan the cards and you could check the values in a few seconds, right? So you have a way to check the values of these cards. You could go on TCG Player, you could down Collector, you could check eBay's last sold. You could figure out how much these cards are worth, right? If you're trying to process thousands and thousands of cards, like I don't, like here I am as a dad with a family of three, a family of five, with 3 kids, like selling a whole bunch of cards. Oh God. If you're like me and you're processing thousands because you're actually trying to make a legit business out of this, right? Because you see like, oh wow, like people want to buy these cards like for money, like real money? No way. Okay. Me too. Right? If you're like that person, well, how do you process all of those, right? How do you scan and process that? Like, so here's the thing. You go on Facebook Marketplace, you set the filters of 20 miles near me, okay? So you search 20 miles near me, and then you find most recently listed, okay? Most recently listed, right? That's the other filter. And then you go through those listings and you just search, you just look through ones that you could like buy. A lot of times, 99% of them, they're gonna be like I want to say 99%, like, yeah, 99% of them are gonna be like dudes like me trying to sell at full price on Facebook Marketplace, which is no, like that's maybe if you want to buy the onesies and twosies, but then you're gonna have other people that are like, hey, getting rid of my collection, and then let me show you, right? Right, so it's stuff like this, right? Hey, getting rid of my collection, $30. $30. What? And all it has is a picture of a binder. And I go on there and I'm like, will you take 10? And then they're like, yeah. And then I show up, I usually give them like 20 or 30, right? I usually give them what they asked, if not like a couple extra bucks, just to like, hey, thanks for coming down on my price. Here's a little tip, just like, and then you get like a binder, and it's like, I'm not into sports cards, but this was $30. It was $30. I got like a suitcase of stuff, another little thing, and then it's all these sports cards. I don't even know about sports cards, but $30, $30 is $30. Woo! All right. And literally, I have all these cool sports cards. I literally have daughters. They have boyfriends. Those kids are into sports cards. So I literally just picked it up, $30. I let them come over and rummage it through it. And then I could scan them if they say, hey, like, oh, you got to sell this one. I'm like, oh, cool. Okay. Like, thanks. And then I'll sell that one, but I'll have like a whole bunch of cards that I could literally give away or sell and do whatever I want. And most of the time, 1 or 2 cards out of this. Look at this. Do you think there's a card in here? So here's how I do it. All right, on Card Price King, you could set what's called a floor price. Okay, so let's just say I have a really expensive card and I'm scanning 100 cards, right? If I'm scanning 100 cards, not every card is a bulk card. Not every card is 10 cents, right? Not every card is cheap. Some cards are worth $5. Well, the AI is going to price every single one of them no matter what. It's going to price all of your cards. It's going to price the cheap ones and the low ones. Well, you can also set what's called a floor price. Okay, so I set a floor price, and so no matter what, I sell every single one of these cards online for $2.97 as a floor price. Okay, so that means even if it's 10 cents, even if you could buy it on TCG Player or another site for cheaper, I sell it on eBay or Card Price King for $2.97. And then sometimes I'll offer coupons when you buy 5, get 5 free. I'll offer incentives to buy more. And then when they buy more, like I pay off this whole collection. And now I have the whole freaking binder left. Well, that's how I keep ending up with all these cards, because I buy a collection. So here's the thing. My best collection pickup I've ever bought, okay? It was the largest ones I've ever purchased too. It was on Facebook Marketplace for $500. $500. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, and it was literally just like a stack of stuff. just like a stack. And it like, he showed like maybe one or two cards, very few, but it was a lot of binders in this, like this. So for me, I was just like, dude, anything worth putting in a binder is probably worth buying. Not everything, but most things, right? Some people will put stuff in binders to try to trick you to buying the binder. But you just kind of have discernment, right? Discernment means like, check it out. Here's what I like to do. If I could make my money back from one, all the amount of cards, because there's such a ridiculous amount of cards that I know, all right, dude, I'm buying like freaking $10,000 cards for $60, bet. You know, like I know I'm going to make my money back just off of the sheer volume of cards, right? So there's that option. But there's also, if they show the cards and then inside this binder, right? If I flip back here, right, we have Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson, right? I know that player. I don't know much about sports, but I know that guy, right? We have Karl Malone, right? So we have whole pages of superstars. I had a whole page of Shaq in this, and I'm like, bet. Like, I made my money back just selling the Shaq page. So it's one of those things where it's like, so I went this $400 pickup, right? I put this down. So this $400 pickup, right? I literally showed up on Facebook. I showed up to his house. I'm like, hey, he's this big guy, right? Like strong. He brings down the entire collection in this giant trash bag like thing. And it's binders and boxes and all this stuff. And he's struggling to carry it downstairs. And I'm like, dang, I can't wait. I'm like, inside, I'm so excited, right? And so I'm so excited. So I'm like, I'm so pumped. He brings it down, he sits down on the couch. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, go through it. I'm like, start going through it. And I don't see anything at first. So I try to like lowball him, right? Hey, like, I see a lot of cards here, but it looks kind of like bulk cards. So do you know, and I try not to look through too much at first. And I'm like, well, he has it listed for $500, right? I've already negotiated. We talked to him on the thing. We said 400. I'm saying like, we haven't fully agreed on a price. I said we'd look at it. Would you take 100? Right there on the spot, I offer him 100 because that's all I had on me. Like, not because of what the cards are worth, because that's all I had. Okay, that's it, right? And I just didn't see the value at first. And then he's like, nah, I'd rather wait until somebody comes by with a better offer. And I'm like, ah. So I start looking again. All right, I start looking through the binder. And then I start seeing some like vintage stuff, like vintage old school Pokemon cards that I recognize. And I'm like, this is the banger binder. And that's in a whole different binder. And then I see some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You guys see that far box over here? It's like that last box. That box is filled with about 5,000 Yu-Gi-Oh cards from that $400 pickup. I still haven't went through it all. Okay, so like all of those cards, and I literally go, there's those Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like tons of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I go, okay, let me call my wife. And then I call my wife, and I can't talk her up, and so I say, babe, like, can you just transfer the money to this account and just send it, just trust me. And she goes, babe, what? And I'm like, babe, just trust me. And I'm in his house, like right in front of him. And I can't try to tell her like, no, it's worth it, because I just try to talk him down from 500 to 100. So I can't be like, it's really worth it. You know, I can't oversell her while underselling him at the same time, you know? So it's like, just transfer it, babe. Just transfer the money. Right? And so she transfers the money. And then I transfer it, and then I have to send him Cash App, okay, or Cash App, or right, and on the spot. And his wife comes in. They were having a yard sale, and he was trying to make some money for the yard sale for the wife, right? And his wife comes in, and she goes, "Wait, what's happening?" She goes, "Are you guys selling? Are you selling all the Pokemon cards?" And he goes, yeah, $400. And she goes, and she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, $400. How do I pay you? Cash App? What's your Cash App? How do I pay you? Cash App? Where do I scan? Do I scan it? Like, I'm just like, I'm pretty stoked. I'm like, I hope this transaction goes through right now. And she shows me the Cash App and cha-ching, it's done. It's done. Thank you, man. Could you help me load all this stuff up? And he literally helps me load it up. I'm talking, it's heavy. And I am excited. I get home. I found so many good cards in that pickup for $400. To this day, I still have cards not listed yet that I'm working through from that pickup. Some of my highest cards that I've ever bought, I've had cards in there that were $100 to $200 just from that one pickup. And there were thousands of cards in that $400 pickup. I had over 5,000 Pokemon, over 5,000 Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and it was insane. I loved going through those. I still today am going through those cards as of right now. And that was like a month ago that I got these cards, right? Like that was a month and a half ago since I got that pickup. And like, I got cards that were potential for grading. I got cards that I went to my local game shop and I literally got $200 that night just to like go out to eat with my wife, just to sell some extra ones. I sold some Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I didn't know what the value was. So I'm like, hey, I'll take whatever if you teach me about Yu-Gi-Oh. And so literally the guy, I said, pick out whatever cards you want. I'll let you have like 10 or 20. And literally just, can you teach me about Yu-Gi-Oh? And I sat there for like 30 minutes with the store, the local game shop in Vegas. Shout out to We the People Game Shop. Shout out, guys. You guys are awesome. They literally taught me about Yu-Gi-Oh. And then I had so many Yu-Gi-Oh cards, guys. I literally invited my friends and family over and we all played Yu-Gi-Oh that night. Which was dope. Like, I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh since I was a kid. And so like my brother came over, my friends, my family, and we had pizza and we played Yu-Gi-Oh. Most of us didn't even know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. We literally watched a YouTube video on how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and still there was only like 2 complete duels in the whole entire night. However, it was a blast. It was so fun. It was so worth it. It was worth more than the $400 could ever explain. And I paid off the $400 back. Within about a week, I sold most of those, like a lot of those higher end cards, like really fast. Higher end cards sell really fast, right? Like if you have cards, people buy Pokemon, guys. Like I've been blown away for the fact how many people buy Pokemon. I'm a software developer. I develop software, guys. I have had crazy success in software. However, I've had some more wild success in Pokemon than I have with software. And it's interesting, is software, most of the time you sell a software and then you have to support them, right? Like people have tech issues or they can't get connected, they're like all this stuff. But when people buy a Pokemon, one and done, baby. Here's the Pokemon card. That's it. You know, so yeah. A little different. So yeah. So this is my first video of collecting and talking about my stuff and talking about this. Where are you guys in your collecting goals? What have you guys, where do you buy your collections? What's your starting story journey? Why did you start getting into selling Pokemon? Is it started with 1 and now it's in 1 billion? Are you doing, are you a married dad with kids? Are you a dad with kids? Why are you joining again, especially in your later years? You know, if you are in your later years, how long have you been collecting? Yeah, so shout out to whoever's watching at 24 minutes and 40 seconds about Pokemon. Are you sorting bulk right now? If you're scanning bulk, You freaking legend. You legend, you. Oh, God. Yeah. Heck yeah, guys. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you. You guys rock. I will see you guys next time.